In 1922, a man's pride was a man's land.
1922. This horror drama is based on the works of Stephen King, and when it comes to 2017 horror movies, get used to hearing that name. Starring Thomas Jane, this story focuses on a Nebraska farmer trying to keep his homestead intact and the extreme lengths he is willing to go to achieve this end. Paranoia and ghostly apparitions soon consume the farmer. By the end of this movie, it's safe to say that the means did not justify the end.
Heart rate stable. If we don't use human DNA now, someone else will.
Splice is a sci-fi horror movie starring Adrian Brody and Sarah Polley, who you might remember from 2004's Dawn of the Dead. This one is a little twisted, focusing on the lead characters who are genetic engineers. They splice human and animal DNA together to try and create the perfect hybrid. When they create a female hybrid and name her Dren, they can't bring themselves to destroy her and secretly keep her alive. As the movie progresses, we watch as Dren unlocks the ability to breathe in water, and she has the power to change her sex. By the end of this one, we learn the secret of her human DNA, watch her grow at an accelerated pace, and watch in horror as the hybrid becomes more powerful than ever imagined. Check this one out on Amazon Prime. Happy Death Day to You. This dark comedy slasher is the follow-up to 2017's Happy Death Day. Thanks to college students working on an experimental quantum reactor, this movie turns into a twisted version of Groundhog's Day, as the main character wakes up on the same day, September 18th, her birthday, after each death. Each time, though, something is a little bit off. In order to escape this loop, she must kill the original killer. This movie is a fun time. With suspense around every corner, Happy Death Day to You grabs the 6th spot.
Mark.
Good evening, and welcome to another episode of Grave Encounters.
Psychiatric hospitals like this were seen as sort of a dumping ground for embarrassing family members rather than a place that they could go to actually get help.
Number 6 is another found footage movie, the Canadian horror flick Grave Encounters. People are mixed about this one and the subsequent movies that followed, but for my money, the original is where it's at and makes for a fun watch. Keeping in mind that this film only had a $120,000 budget, it's safe to say that Grave Encounters is an overachiever. In this one, we follow a ghost hunting crew who investigate the Collingwood Psychiatric Hospital, notorious because of its resident doctor, Dr. Friedkin, who would perform experiments and lobotomies on the patients before killing them. This one goes off the rails quickly and breaks down into a fight for survival as members of the team end up missing and going insane. Give it a try today on Tubi.
My vices include red wine, poverty, lust for my professor, and an obsession with personal perfection.
American Mary. I try to organize these movies in order of their US release date, and technically this one had a limited run in the States in 2013, but it was released in Canada in 2012, so I'm keeping it on the list for Best of 2012. Starring Catherine Isabelle from Ginger Snaps fame, this is a twisted tale about the underground body modification scene. Mary, played by Isabelle, applies to be a stripper to pay her way through medical school. I've never heard that one before. Here she finds her niche, performing operations on folks who would rather not go to the hospital, if you catch my drift. And if you don't, what I mean is that they are criminals. Mary soon experiences a bad encounter that leaves her scarred, but she decides to exact her revenge by practicing extreme surgeries on her abuser. Not a bad idea, tit for tat. This one is as alternative as you can get. Watch as Mary climbs to the top of the body modification world, introducing us to some of the most interesting characters in this scene. Watch as Mary dishes out revenge one stitch at a time. This one is not for the faint of heart, but if the subject matter suits you, American Mary is a hidden gem of horror. I highly recommend this title, and you can check it out on Tubi. World War Z. This massive blockbuster seems to get some hate. Not everyone enjoys this one, but you can't deny the impact it had on 2013 and the zombie genre in general. Starring Brad Pitt as Jerry Lane, a former United Nations investigator tasked with tracking down Patient Zero to try and find a cure to the outbreak that is infecting the entire planet. Pitt travels the world with zombies hot on his heels. These zombies are supercharged and can pile on top of each other to form zombie ladders that can climb walls and even reach helicopters. This one had a crazy budget at $190 million and brought in an even crazier $540 million at the box office, making it the highest grossing zombie movie of all time. Love it or hate it, with numbers like that, you gotta put some respect on World War Z. You can watch this one on Tubi.
I don't want you to go to Canada tomorrow.
It's for the podcast. It's what I do.
I travel around and I interview weird or interesting people.
So look out, you crazy Canucks!
Wandering Wallace takes a raunchy road trip up to the Great White North.
Tusk. Here we go, a Planet Phobia favorite, starring Justin Long and even featuring a cameo from a barely recognizable Johnny Depp. This one is hard to fit into a box and pushes the meaning of disturbing to its definitional edge. Wallace Brighton, played by Long, heads to Canada to interview his next guest for his podcast. Once landing in Canada, Wallace learns his original plan has fallen through and he needs to find a place to sleep for the night. Enter Howard Howe. Howard offers Wallace a place to stay and entices him with interesting stories that Wallace thinks might make for an interesting podcast episode. Unfortunately for Wallace, Howard has different plans. Beginning with Wallace being drugged and operated on. What kind of operation, you may ask? Well, an operation to turn Wallace from man to walrus. Duh, what else would it be? This movie shows the slow breakdown of a man losing all sense of what it means to be human, while we watch his brutally sad metamorphosis. Whether you like this film or not, you can't deny its originality, and I highly recommend watching this one.
He is the shadow of St. Nicholas.
Krampus. Max, Hulu, and Prime. Watching this movie has become a bit of a holiday tradition for me and my family, bringing to life the fearsome horned beast of European folklore who punishes naughty children. Dark comedy and horror go together like cookies and milk, and Krampus delivers on both. The cast in this one is amazing, with Adam Scott and David Koechner bringing the laughs and Toni Collette bringing some class to this horror thrill ride. Krampus opens with Max writing a letter to Santa, Max basically being the only one in the family to still have any Christmas spirit and belief in Santa. But once his family pushes him to the edge, he exclaims he hates his family and tears up the letter to Santa, while at the same time denouncing his belief in him. This is the beginning of the end. Soon, Krampus sends his minions to wreak havoc on the family. Here we also learn that Max's grandmother once before survived the wrath of Krampus, after wishing everyone around her to be taken away. That's exactly what Krampus did, leaving only her behind. This little backstory adds a lot to the plot and adds a nice touch as the movie progresses. This one is a personal favorite of mine, and the ending is superb, making me question if all of us are just living in a snow globe, part of a deranged collection. Number 6. Gehenna, Where Death Lives. Swaying from the path of mainstream media, this American-Japanese horror entry finds itself on my list for Best of 2018. Our last entry, Overlord, took us behind enemy lines in Germany during World War II. Gehenna also uses World War II as a major theme, but here taking place in a remote location on the Pacific island of Saipan. Deep in an underground bunker complex, here, as the title suggests, is where death lives. Dive into a world of Japanese soldiers being trapped in a time loop, drawn to an ancient evil. Watch as a cast of characters try to escape a dark force that is all around them. In this movie, the best escape plan is to die. The one who survives last will face the true horror of Gehenna.
There isn't much that rattles either of us anymore. But this one still haunts me.
Number 6, The Conjuring 2. This movie follows Ed and Lorraine Warren, played by Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga. They become aware of the strange paranormal activity surrounding the Hodgson family, taking place in their home located in a London borough. This would become known as the Enfield Haunting. This film is really put together well, from the great acting performances to the dreary grey scenery of England. And oh yeah, we can't forget the Crooked Man.